Hey everyone, welcome to the Gaming X. Today we'll be taking a look at Burnout Paradise Remastered on the Xbox One. But is this the remaster the Burnout series deserved? Is this even the Burnout game the majority of us would have chosen for this re-release? Now before we jump into the review, I've got a quick question for you. When you see the term remastered, what do you expect to see in a game? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, but with that being said, let's jump in to today's review. So let's start with gameplay and features, and this is 100% a definitive package. You're not only going to get the base game itself, but additionally you will find a ton of DLC. This includes the new locations in Big Sur Island, a wealth of new vehicles, motorbikes, mini remote control cars, the co-op party mode, and of course a ton of new challenges. In total you're actually getting 9 DLC packs to make this the full package. I think it's fair to say the content, from an amount viewpoint at least, justifies a $39.99 price tag, but is it the Burnout game any of us really wanted? I'm going to jump in immediately, and I'm going to say no, I don't know anyone who would have chosen Burnout Paradise as their remaster of choice. It's by far the least liked of the series, and I think the majority of us would have went with Burnout 2 or Burnout 3. When Burnout took the step from linear to open world, it did lose some of its essence. The pacing felt off, and its moments of pure beauty in the destruction of vehicles became few and far between. This was a time when everyone was jumping on the open world bandwagon, and that's not always a good thing as proven here. And what I'm trying to say here is, if you had problems with the original release, if open world racing just isn't your thing and you prefer a linear approach, then Burnout Paradise Remastered is not going to do anything to change your mind. I mean, obviously it's simply a re-release. I just want to set that expectation now though. If you didn't like the original, you're definitely not going to like this one. If you do decide to jump in though, you are still getting a more than capable racer. This will in fact be exactly as you remember it in terms of gameplay. Breakneck pacing accompanied with a solid arcade control system that's built in a world that supports a constant stream of speed, stunts, and of course what the series is most well known for, crashes, and they are as glorious and visceral as ever. The game hasn't changed at all, in fact, when it comes to its gameplay. The races here still give you little guidance other than a destination. How you get there is going to be completely up to you, and that was always an inclusion I really enjoyed. It adds a reward as you work out the best route or undercut another racer at the very last moment. One thing I really hated about the original Burnout Paradise, and I was hoping it wasn't going to be here this time around, was the fact it made you drive to a garage to change out a vehicle every time you needed to. So whether you just wanted to change things up and jump on a motorbike or a mini RC car, or you needed a specific vehicle for a race type. Unfortunately, that problem is still here. Please just give us an options menu where we can go there, choose a new vehicle and drop straight back in. The problem this caused with the original release is the same to this day. It breaks the entire pacing of the game. This is Burnout. This is supposed to be fast, it's supposed to be fun, and making you do this chore just does not suit the series at all. It's kind of like driving in Sunday morning traffic to get to a fun day out. No one wants to do the driving in traffic, so please don't make us here. This is especially true when you realise a race needs a specific vehicle to take part. It's an absolute pain. For those that played this previously, it will match every expectation you have from a gameplay perspective, and for those new to the series, this would be most comparable to the more recent open world Need for Speed titles. Content wise, you're getting a lot for your money, and it's attached to a fantastic as always arcade control scheme and blistering pace. Very few races contain the excitement that the Burnout series embodied, and while it's not the entry of choice for me, it's still nice to see it back on consoles. Maybe this is a sign of things to come. Maybe we will actually get a dedicated new Burnout game. So graphics, and this is where Burnout Paradise absolutely falls to pieces. This should not be called Burnout Paradise Remastered. This should be called Burnout Paradise Upscaled, because that's exactly what it is. After roughly 10 to 15 hours with this game, I really can't work out what else they've changed. It seems to just be that up in resolution. To go into what I mean here, I will say this is in no way a bad looking game. In fact, at times it looks beautiful, but so did the original. I'll just say I'm not sure where the work went in. This is obviously a much clearer image, but that's about it. This increase in resolution though, of course, brings along its own share of problems, and they were masked previously under that lower resolution. And it highlights all of its issues, the jagged edges, the low texture quality. This is doing nothing to try and separate itself from a 360 era title. We've had some fantastic remasters recently that I've mentioned that really went above and beyond to stand up to the current generation, but that's not the case here. I'm really disappointed, and it's definitely not what I'd hoped for. For me personally, this is being misadvertised, and it does the title more harm than good, because you go in expecting so much more with a remastered tagline. Stick to what it is, play it up a little less, such as a HD tagline, and we wouldn't be disappointed when we finally get in. It's all about setting expectations so you can ensure you deliver. This should be at best Burnout Paradise HD, reserved remastered for incredible rebuilds such as Gears of War Ultimate Edition or the recent and absolutely incredible Shadows of the Colossus. For me, Burnout Paradise Remastered in the graphics department is simply underwhelming. Finally, let's talk audio, and this has always been a highlight for the Burnout franchise. Fortunately, that's still the case here. Burnout uses a wealth of licensed tracks for the local radio stations, and here they remain. It bolsters the gameplay perfectly, and it's a fantastic underscore to the world of Paradise City. Sound effects are another huge success, with engines roaring and crash sound effects providing the necessary level of destruction of metal alongside the aggressive imagery. Overall, it's fantastic work. It still stands up this many years later, and blasting this out of your speaker system will bring life to this world and may even at times have you singing along. So the final verdict, and Burnout Paradise is here, and it's a mixed bag. The gameplay, it still feels as aggressive, pure and entertaining as ever. Unfortunately, it is however wrapped in possibly the least popular entry in the series, the open world of Paradise City. If you didn't like this the first time around, this won't do anything to change that opinion. But for those willing to jump in, you will find some hugely entertaining moments. This is after all a remaster, so the issues are still here. The open world causes some pacing issues, driving to a garage to change out a vehicle is an absolute pain, and the graphics are a complete letdown. Overall, talking about Paradise City itself, it just doesn't feel like a true Burnout game, and it never did. Then you get the content, and at least here there's a huge amount. 9 additional DLC packages with everything from vehicles to missions to entire new locations in the form of Big Sur Island. It's a fantastic addition, and it's a great way to round out the Burnout Paradise City world. Unfortunately though, as I've mentioned multiple times here, it's in the graphics that the game truly misses, with a poor effort of just upscaling the resolution alongside really little else. If you can handle a lower resolution however, then perhaps pick up the original version on the 360. It's going to cost you at a much lower price point at around $19.99. Because honestly, when it comes to the gameplay, all the features in fact, nothing has changed. The question really is that extra DLC content worth it to you? So my final thought, Burnout Paradise Remastered hides behind a remastered tagline. Unfortunately though, it means you go in with unclear and unreachable expectations. This never should have had that tagline. Reserve that for the games that go back and do an entire rebuild. This should be something closer to Devil May Cry HD that recently came out. When we go into a title with a HD tagline at the end, we know what to anticipate. We know what we're essentially getting is maybe some tweaks on the controls and an upped resolution. So the slight misadvertising here is going to let a lot of people down. The Gaming X awards Burnout Paradise Remastered a slightly better than average 6 out of 10. So have I been fair to the game today? Do you agree or do you disagree? Let me know in the comments below. With that being said, remember to hit subscribe down here. That's going to let you see our videos every single week, and we have 3 of these Monday, Thursday and Saturday. Thanks for watching today, we truly do appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next Gaming X.